welcome back everyone, it's time to go balls deep! Now guys, with the recent revelation on Luffy's Devil Fruit, the Gomu Gomu no Mi having high importance and value in the eyes of the secret government, effectively Imu-sama, along with us being given more lore on some history of the One Piece world, possibly connecting back to Joy Boy himself, a lot of questions arise. The most crucial of them being why? Why is Luffy's Devil Fruit so important? As previously I explained that Oda's reasoning in giving Luffy the rubber Devil Fruit in the first place was because it was the most funniest ability he could think of. As mentioned in SBS 65, Oda picked the most ridiculous ability that no matter how serious the story gets, Luffy can just stretch and inflate, bringing back the fun tone to the plot, whilst giving Oda the chance to fool around. But now, due to chapter 1017 and 1018, we are led to the idea that there is so much more to this, to the point of Luffy's Devil Fruit being essential to the plot of the story. So in this video, we are going to break down some unique theories explaining why Shanks and the Red Hair Pirates decided to steal the Gomu Gomu no Mi, going over the importance of this fruit to Imu-sama and the world government, especially now that a lot of their secrets and concerns are being leaked, like the information on the legend of the Sun God Nika. Why is it supposed to be such a secret, and how does it link back to Luffy, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and Luffy's straw hat?
I don't know.
But before we get further into the video, let me quickly tell you guys about our sponsor, Genshin Impact, an amazing free-to-play open-world action RPG which you can play on PC, Android, iOS, PlayStation 4 and 5. With this extensive magical world, you get to start your adventure on the continent of Teyvat, where 7 different elemental power surges, and most importantly, you can unlock 30 plus waifus. I mean characters in the game, that is. My favorite character is of course Lisa, because she's the undisputed best girl.
You serious?
One of the biggest things I enjoy about Genshin is how lively the continent of Teyvat actually feels, where you can not only reveal mysteries at every turn, but also interact with most of the objects around the world. You can climb around, swim, glide across this beautiful jaw-dropping world, fighting through intriguing challenges. And right now, there is no better time to get into the world of Teyvat, as the new version 1.6 update has just gone live. This update not only introduces the new characters Kazuha, but also some slick new weapons like the 5-star Freedom Sworn Sword. There are also new events happening like the Kaboom Board Combat, and trust me, this game is a lot of fun. You'll spend many hours into it and you won't get bored. So go ahead and click the link in the description to get Genshin Impact on your devices right now, starting this journey of a lifetime with your friends. Okay, so we already did a video with Liam from Grand Line Review on Luffy's Gear 5. I have a link down in the description below. In that video, I explained how OP Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi is, given the power of rubber, makes Luffy very versatile, resilient, having amazing tensile strength, along with being tear resistant, electric resistant, impact and shock resistant, so on and so forth. Even without Haki, he was able to defeat Enel, who would probably body the majority of the pirates in the Grand Line, just because of his Devil Fruit, the Gomu Gomu no Mi. But Luffy's ability completely countered it, and just like that, he also counters physical attacks. And being unaffected from physical impact is a huge deal. There is also the idea that rubber is water resistant, so maybe there might be a way for Luffy to be immune to the sea effect, making sea stones and even the sea itself useless against him. But that could be a stretch, yes, pun intended. But that possibility is there. Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi has endless potential, only limited by the user's creativity. So with that, let's get into the importance of this Devil Fruit. We first see the Gomu Gomu no Mi in chapter 1, where an 8-year-old Luffy mistakes it for a dessert and eats the whole fruit, whilst Shanks and his crew were dealing with Higuma and his bandits. They only notice when Luffy starts stretching his arms around like rubber. The reaction that we see here from Shanks and his crew is unlike any other. These guys are always calm and collected, not even caring much if they get drinks smashed in their faces. However, here with Luffy eating the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the whole crew goes on a frenzy. Lucky Roo even says that they took the fruit from the enemy ship, implying that their purpose in going after that enemy ship was the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Now you could just chalk up Shanks' reaction to the fact that they're pirates and Devil Fruit sells for 100s of millions of berries and they lost that treasure. However, from what we know about Shanks as a character and bearing Roger's hat, he doesn't care much for wealth and money. And I doubt that he himself personally wanted to consume the fruit, as I believe that Shanks values his ability to swim. So maybe it was for Lucky Roo or another member of his crew. But to me, it seemed that this Devil Fruit meant something much much more to him, especially after chapter 1017 where we learned that the world government were the ones transporting it and Shanks stole it from them. And it wasn't just any transport vessel, it had the CP9 member Who's Who guarding the fruit. And considering Who's Who is said to be on par and rivals with Rob Lucy in the past, the world government took this fruit pretty seriously. And the key thing to note is that Cyberpol is directly under the 5 elders and Imusama, so it's not just any government mission. Imusama wanted this fruit. And after Shanks and his crew stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi, Who's Who was given a severe punishment, being sent to Impel Down, begging the question on why would the government put Who's Who behind bars for simply losing a devil fruit. Rob Lucy and the rest of CP9 let Ennie's lobby be destroyed by Buster Cole and let the Straw Hats walk free after burning down the government's flag, but they instead got promoted to CP0. From this, it's clear that there's definitely something very special about Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi. So let's answer the question, why did Shanks and the Red Hair Pirates even take the Gomu Gomu no Mi from Who's Who and the world government? So the first thing that comes to mind, now hear me out, okay? You guys need to keep an open mind for this. The reason Shanks took the Gomu Gomu no Mi from the world government was to assist in Joey Boy's mission and to prevent the government from feeding this fruit to the Red Line so it can't be destroyed.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Okay, come on guys, trust in balls, the future sight. Hear me out, alright? If you guys watched my What is One Piece video from a year ago, you should kind of get where this theory is going. So most of us in the community believe that the true objective of One Piece is for all the seas to be united, forming all blue, a free sea by destroying the Red Line. We have seen multiple foreshadowings implying that this will eventually happen. For example, Laboon smashing his head on the Red Line, wanting to destroy it as it's a barrier stopping him from reuniting with his friends in the Romba Pirates. Let's not forget about Madame Shirley's prophecy about Luffy destroying Fishman Island, which is directly below the Red Line and will be destroyed alongside the Big Red Wall. The plan to bring the seas together was formulated by Joey Boy over 800 years ago, along with the mission to unite all races of the world as equal beings with no discrimination. This meant no slaves and no slave masters. Joey Boy along with his people were the direct enemy of the 20 allied kingdoms in his time. These 20 kingdoms now form the world government, and the royal descendant of these kingdoms, apart from Alabasta, lived their lives as celestial dragons above the Red Line in Marijoa. Joey Boy and the closest people who followed him left their will to their descendants, the people of D. Hence why the Ds are the natural enemy of the celestial dragons. If you guys are still not convinced, then go watch the end of One Piece video linked in the pinned comment and description below, where I go further in depth with more evidence for this theory. Anyways, coming back to why the world government wouldn't want this has to do with the celestial dragons. If the Red Line were to be destroyed, then the so-called gods of the One Piece world, whose heaven is right on top of the Red Line, would also be destroyed. Of course, this would be a fantastic thing for the One Piece world and its people. However, this would mean that the world government and the celestial dragons would lose their grip and balance of power in this new reality. This is also one of the main reasons why they have stopped the flow of information regarding the Void Century, the Poneglyphs, and the Ancient Kingdom. Their grip on power is loosening, especially with the introduction of Roger, the Pirate King, and the people of Ohara being inches away from figuring it all out. What better way to cement your power on the world than to nullify one of the only actions that could topple your regime, make it so that the Red Line becomes indestructible, and for that they need the Gomu Gomu no Mi. As we already know, cannon fire, huge blast, any blunt force seems to not affect Luffy at all as they just bounce off him, and we already know the government has the capability of feeding devil fruits to inanimate objects like Spandam's sword, which had consumed the elephant fruit. The genius Vegapunk was able to do this with his experimentation, and even if they couldn't feed the fruit to the Red Line, it's not impossible that Vegapunk wouldn't be able to try to reverse engineer the fruit and give its properties to the Red Line. Bruh. Okay, but enough of that crackpot theory. Let's talk about something more grounded. Like the reason Shanks stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi from the world government was so that he could give Buggy the fruit and make him pretty much untouchable. Think about it. Shanks was the one who accidentally fed Buggy the Bada Bada no Mi. He must have then found a way to feed Buggy his second fruit, the Gomu Gomu no Mi. One fruit makes it so he can't be sliced, and the other makes it so he can't be hit by blunt force. It was all just hiding in plain sight.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Alright, wait. Jokes aside, guys, the next real possible reason why Shanks and the world government put so much value in the Gomu Gomu no Mi was because it was the fruit and power that Joy Boy possessed. It would honestly make sense why the world government put such a big priority on the fruit by sending an elite member of the Cyberpol 9 to retrieve it, because everything from the time of the Void Century seems to be something they want to lock up forever, just like we saw in chapter 906, where Imusama, the one who pulls all the string of the world, literally has a giant straw hat hidden underground in Merijoa. So it would only be natural for Imu and the government to lock up the Gomu Gomu no Mi associated with Joy Boy. This would also explain why Shanks was after the fruit. Even though he didn't visit Laugh Tale with Roger, there's a high chance that later he found out all the information on what happened. Shanks traveled with Roger, and knowing about Joy Boy, he would of course not want this treasure to fall into the hands of the world government. Not just that, but time and time again we see characters in One Piece follow a destined will or a destined path with the name D, all aiding in the path to the promised dawn. We see this with Jaguar D Soul helping Robin, Corazon saving Trafalgar D Law, all of their survival aiding in Luffy's dream to become the Pirate King and to be free. So just like how Odin wanted to open up Wano for Joy Boy's return, Shanks could have also retrieved the fruit from the government for the preparation of Joy Boy. No wonder Shanks was shocked and pissed when Luffy ate the fruit. However, when Rayleigh thinks back to Shanks mentioning Luffy, he was in a joyous mood as Luffy said the same words as Roger. In the end, Shanks seeing the fruit, which held much history, ended up with a boy like Luffy who depicted characteristics like his former captain. He betted on the future and gave Luffy his straw hat, which was passed down to him by Roger himself. And again, this hat being similar to the giant straw hat Imusama holds shows huge significance. Shanks might have realized all the lines are adding up and Luffy might have been the prophesized sovereign. I covered everything you need to know about this sovereign in the video about Luffy being Joy Boy, so check that out. I actually gave a lot of evidence. But on that topic, in chapter 1018, we learned something which reinforces this whole theory. During Who's Who fight with Jinbei, he revealed that apparently in ancient times, slaves would believe in a legendary warrior that would eventually come and save them. This warrior was known as the Sun God Nika. It would be said that he would be able to bring laughter to their lips and free them from their suffering. This information seemed to be very controversial, as when the gods in Impel Down that informed Who's Who about this legend disappeared. Who's Who speculated that this story wasn't meant to be shared, and even hearing about it put his life in danger. This sentiment was confirmed as CP0 was sent to assure that Who's Who doesn't make it out alive during this raid. So knowing that Imusama and the 5 elders wants to hide this legend, along with punishing Who's Who for losing the Gomu Gomu no Mi, it gives us reason to believe that the Sun God might have been Joy Boy's alias, or at least has some relations. Joy Boy during his time was planning to bring the fish people to land where they would be able to see the sun. Our understanding of Joy Boy was that of a liberator, just like the Sun God Nika is portrayed to be. Now the term Sun God in One Piece isn't really a new one. Like if you go way back to the Skypiea arc, the Shandians used to worship the Sun God and even made human offerings to this deity. Fishman Island also has many motifs that references their relation to the sun, and Otohime, the deceased queen and mother of Shirahoshi, had a huge admiration for the sun. Now obviously this might have been due to the promise that was made with Joy Boy back in the days, you know, to go up all the way to land and see the sun and whatnot, but there is a huge indication here. We also learned from Big Mom that the giants of the Elbaf celebrated the death and rebirth of the sun through the Winter Solstice Festival, so again the theme of the Sun God isn't really new. However, I believe it's likely that this Sun God Nika is either Joy Boy, whose legend remained and was distorted to the point of even being deified. We know this happens even in our world, where a man of influence and admiration is deified. Even in One Piece, Usopp was given the title of God during the Dressrosa arc. It won't be far-fetched to say that in 1000 years time, the story of Usopp would be even further exaggerated, where there might be a tribal people worshipping the god Usopp figure. Let's be real now, I'm pretty sure there's a tribe right now in Dressrosa doing that. Now the other possibility is that the god son Nika was a legend even before Joy Boy, and Joy was trying to embody Nika's ideals. But where does Monkey D. Luffy fit in all of this? Well, if you go by our original theory that Luffy is Joy's embodiment, then that would make him effectively the embodiment of Nika as well. Also, there is a lot of similarities with the one illustration we were given. Nika's arms and legs seem to be very bendy as though he had eaten the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And if you go back to the Scarpia arc, Oda illustrated the Straw Hats and Luffy dancing around the campfire. Luffy's imagery is heavily represented with his troll face embedded into Nika's silhouette. Lastly, there is also the idea that the Straw Hat represents the mission that Joy Boy was trying to accomplish. Abolishing slavery is one thing, but to make an entire sea free is another. The Straw Hat is a representation of this. The red ribbon on the hat is meant to show the separation between the sea and the sun and the world by the red line. There is the notion that's going around that once Luffy accomplishes destroying the red line and being the pirate king, the Straw Hat will no longer possess the value it once did. The red ribbon on it will also break, and it will become a simple straw hat, also being the imagery of what One Piece is. This ties everything together. The Gomu Gomu no Mi, the legend of the Sun God Nika, along with the giant straw hat with Imusama. They are all connected to Joy Boy and the mission to free the world. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button so we can continue doing One Piece weekly. Also, Gomu Gomu no pistol that notification bell so you are updated in everything we post. Anyway guys, I'll catch you lot till next time.